In the same example, you can also do this. What I'm about to do next is called the process of chaining. Instead of creating an object of file type and then creating an object of file input stream type, and then also creating an object of buffered input stream type, you can just create one object of buffer input stream type and you can let the others chain. This is how you can exercise the process of chaining. And this is under these situations you will do that. If any of the classes are only being used once and not being used after that, there is no point of declaring a named instance of that. You can create an unnamed instance of them. How do you create unnamed instances in Java? If you simply write the right-hand side of equals to, that's called an unnamed instance. But it can't be written on a line of itself. It has to be either in a return statement or it has to be on a line where it is to the right of equals to. So similarly, we will also going to do something like this with file input stream. Now, notice the buffered input stream actually receives an object of file input stream. Instead of doing that, by declaring a special object of file input stream, I can simply push this unnamed instance right here in the constructor of buffered input stream. Let me do one thing at a time. So let me bring this back here so that you can see that there is no error on line number 15. So if an object is only to be used once, there is no point of first creating a named instance and then using it, even though some developers do that. But a lot of the developers don't do it. Second thing I want to do is I have to remove this because there is no file input stream object anymore. So that saves me some code lines. It saves me extra comparisons. So either way, it's a win-win situation. And if you run it the way it is right now, it'll going to generate the same output. Very similar to this process. So you have gotten rid of extra declaration of file input stream object. You have rather changed it in the constructor of buffered input stream. So this is how it will going to work. It will going to call the constructor of file input stream. They're going to pass the file object to it. It will put the file object into the input stream and will return that input stream to the constructor of buffered input stream where it will be assigned to buffer input stream. Now, you also need to remove down below in the finally block, any code related to file input stream should now be kicked out. You don't need it. Very similar to this, the file object is only also being used once, and that is on line number 15. You don't use it before, you don't use it after. So now what I can do is I can simply take this instruction set of new file names.txt and I can replace it right here like that. Now the code looks complicated, but if you understand this is what it does, it creates a file object which taps into names.txt. It returns a reference of that to input stream, which opens up a stream into this file and returns that stream to a buffered input stream, which then lets it read from that file into the buffer, and then you can display the whole buffer. So if you run it, it's the same output, but it's a lot more efficient code in terms of memory management.